Hey guys, Alan Bishop back with the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, your source for presumably correct distillation information. And back today without a hangover, thankfully. Anyways, as always, if you have questions, reach out to me, bishopshomegrown@gmail.com. You can go to thealchemistcabinet.com. You can reach out to me on social media or in the YouTube comments below. Please keep the questions coming, guys. I can't make more videos if I don't have more questions. And I specifically love when you guys ask questions that I can make videos out of to help other people. We're going to get into that today, but before we get into that, make sure you go to thealchemistcabinet.com, go to the warehouse. We are uploading unique items with our logo, One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, on it, as well as our paranormal podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. You can get my distillation book I wrote several years ago that was out of print for several years. We've reprinted it as a print-on-demand book. You can buy the autographed version on the warehouse at the store called The Warehouse at thealchemistcabinet.com. Or you can look on our social media and get the link directly to Amazon.com and order the unautographed version. All that money goes back into producing more and more content for everybody and more products for everybody. So, all that being said, my sinuses are a little tight today for some reason. Jeff Bruns writes, another dumb question. It's not a dumb question, it's actually a really good question. I have 4 bubble plates for my still setup, but only use 1 bubble plate when running whiskeys or rum to ensure that more of the flavor is brought over during distillation. With the distillate coming off the still at the beginning of the run, somewhere between 145 and 150 proof, then slowly dropping throughout the run. If I put all 4 of my bubble plates on the still and loaded all 4 bubble plates at the beginning of the run by using the dephlemator, do you think at that point I could turn the dephlemator off and run my still a little faster, given that I'm using all 4 bubble plates, and still get the same results with regards to flavor and 125 to 130 overall final proof for the run? Or do you think that would just jack things up and push tails over faster? You're absolutely correct. It would jack things up and push tails over faster, because if you run that dephlemator at the beginning, what you're doing is you're stacking the very volatile components onto the plates. What's going to happen when you turn that dephlemator off is the steam is going to blow through that alcohol. It's going to volatilize, it's going to come across, and your plates are going to be empty, and your proof is just going to nosedive. And then you're going to have to rerun it again anyways and potentially lose more flavor there, presuming it's all flavor that you want to keep. I would say that if you're getting those proofs right now off running that single plate with a dephlemator, I would stay there. It sounds like you're making good product. There's no reason not to do it. I don't know. It sounds like this is probably a single pass distillation from mash through the single bubble plate. You could be doing a strip and then doubling it and then doing the bubble plate. I'm not sure. My only other suggestion would be is to do a strip and then run the dephlemator but leave the bubble plate out. And I think that you'll find that you can really tune that dephlemator off of that distillation to give you even more of those flavors that you like, those heavier flavors like that might interest you a little bit more. I've done that quite a bit with several different products in the past, and I really like running a dephlemator on a pot still without any plates whatsoever, and just taking the proof up to closer to 155, 160, somewhere in there. I really enjoy that. I really like that a lot. Again, it kind of straight lines those flavors. You get more floral characteristics, more fruity characteristics, more of those lighter flavors that otherwise tend to get overrun by the heavier flavors that come off with just regular pot still. Give me just a second, guys. I got to switch papers here without dropping anything in the mud from the distillation going on here behind me. I don't know if you can see that or not. So let's see. All right, so Clinton here from South Africa. I love your videos, but haven't come across one regarding proof for a final run. Anyways, my question is, I have 3rd generation sour mash low wines of 43 ABV/86 proof. Should I proof down to 40-80 and run through my pot still, or proof lower at say 30-60 to retain flavor? Side note, my stripping still ends at 40 to 45 ABV average spirits, with it coming off at 5% ABV when I shut her down. Would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for your awesome content. All right, Clinton, so as always, when you go back into a still for a run, you want to be underneath 80 proof, or at least at 80 proof. And you always want, when you're redistilling like that off of low wines or even high wines that you're redistilling, you always want to have that still at least 3/4 of the way full. If you go lower than 3/4 of the way, you're going to evaporate too much too quickly, and you're facing the possibility of running a dry still, etc., or potentially creating an air pocket that can cause an implosion. I don't see any reason to go down to 36/60 to retain flavor. You should have plenty of flavor just by dropping the water in to drop you down to 80 proof or below before you redistill. The water is not going to change anything all that much. I mean, some of the azero types might change slightly, but it's going to be such a small difference as to be pretty much almost imperceptible to most people, I think. So that would be my suggestion. That was a good question though too. These are great examples of questions that I think that people that are new to this or even people getting a little bit more advanced might really benefit from. One of the things I forgot to mention about the store, I'm rattling through papers again here. One of the things I forgot to mention about the store is that we are getting ready to upload some unique grain products. I am not a grain producer. I am not a malt producer. I do not want to be. What I am is a farmer distiller who sometimes has a little bit of extra stuff that we make for ourselves. And I'm willing to share some of that in some unique kits with some unique yeast strains where we can do some projects on these videos where I can make some of these kits into 10-gallon mashes, run through the possibilities of distillation with you guys, and give you some ideas of how you might be able to use those grains. So that's pretty unique, I think. Let's see. All right, so Christopher Medinsky, I'm new to the hobby of distillation, and I was wondering what is your recommendation on how to inoculate a piece of wood with a yeast you really like? Not only to save money, but to possibly inoculate more wood with different types of yeast to broaden your selection of yeast. Thanks for your videos and your time, sir. All right, so this goes back to the Norse magic log that we've talked about in the past, where you're actually capturing yeast in a piece of fruit wood and then hanging that piece of fruit wood up somewhere dry and cool where the yeast will go dormant inside the wood. It really is super simple. I've talked about this in the past on the video, but here's an idea. I go out and get a piece of peach wood, maybe 12 inches long, 2 or 3 inches around, cut all the bark off of it, drill some holes in it, give it some more surface area. When you put your yeast in your mash or your wash, whatever you're making, and that yeast kicks off after 24 hours, take that piece of fruit wood, drop it into that yeast or that mash with a string on it so you can retrieve it easily and have something to hang it up by. Let it sit there for 24 hours. Pull it back out, again, find somewhere dark and cool to hang it up, and let that yeast go dormant. It'll be there next time you need it. You can pitch it back in your wash or your mash, and it'll kick that fermentation again. I know a lot of people think this is crazy, but I'm telling you right now, the people who think that's crazy and it won't work, only say that shit because they ain't ever done it themselves and they don't have a brewing background. So just go ahead and keep those comments to yourself because you really don't know as much as you think you do. So it really would be as simple as that, Christopher. Just, you know, every time you do a different yeast strain and a different wash or mash, throw you a Norse magic log in there, let it get going for 24 hours, pull it out, hang it up somewhere dry and cool. And I'm being attacked by yellow jackets, and it'll be there for you next time. As always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, etc. Visit our store, Alchemist Cabinet, or thealchemistcabinet.com. Warehouse is the store that's on there. Buy our book, either there or through Amazon. Buy our other merchandise. Help us keep the channel going. Help us grow the channel and keep doing cool stuff. As always, I appreciate y'all, and I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.